Hi, I'm Cindy Jane from Natural Heating, and today I have with me here the Hunter Halo Radial stove. It's quite a big, tall stove for a cylinder, as you can probably see with me sat next to it, and I'm no smart. I'm 5'7". It's 1.2 meters high and about 457 millimeters diameter, so about 18 inches diameter off the top of my head. It's quite a big unit, but yet it's still a 4.9 kilowatt nominal heat output. So that means that at its mid-range, it's going to be giving you about 5 single 1 meter radiators of heat into the room, and it will probably do between about 3 and 8. So, it's got a good heat output. It's got a really tall pyroceramic glass door, and it's completely round. So you think, well, cylinder stoves, they should be round, but most of them aren't a true round stove. They've maybe got a curved glass front, but they're not fully round. Often, when you get a fully round stove, you don't get brilliant clearance distance to combustibles because of the radius of the glass. But this one, you can go as close as 50 millimeters, that's just 2 inches, like that much, away from combustibles at the back of the unit. That's close. Although the recommended is that you try and keep it at least 150 millimeters away if you can, which is only sensible because you don't want to shove it and cram it in somewhere. It looks better with a bit more space. Anyway, I first saw this stove in the summer of last year when I went to go and visit Hunters, and I have to say I was really surprised. Really surprised. Because it was a lot better than what I was expecting. From the minute I set my hands on this, you can just tell when you open the door, it is such nice quality. And Hunters have always made really decent, solid, stoves. Some of them are a bit tractor-like, and they've been about 20 odd years. Everybody's owned them, farmers, people in the countryside. They were known for being really robust, heavy-duty units. But they've never made cylinders before. They've never made the kind of arty-farty stoves of the world that you get in more contemporary houses. This is their first curved glass model, and I have to say, they look like they've really upped their game. So I ran it down there, and it was a really hot day, and the stove that they have in their main office is fan assisted. Fan assisted tells you nothing because it's being controlled by a fan pulling the gases away up the chimney. That doesn't mean it's not going to spill, that doesn't mean it's not going to perform. So this is my chance to run it on my own and see what it does in real life, because I've not burnt this one before. So let me just show you what she does. So your door handle is down here and it's built in flush into the carcass. Now just to let you know, you can hear a pin drop in here. This weighs about 3 grams. It's the controller for my camera. And you'll hear everything because there's no furnishings or anything. We're in an industrial unit. So, the door is beautiful. It's everything you'd expect of a high-end Scandinavian unit. And it's not Scandinavian. But for value for money, it seems incredible, and I need to see what it can do. So take the gloves out the inside. I've got an ash pan. There is a grate in here, but it is entirely wood based, so wood only, wood fuels only on this one. There's one air control that slides across, and this stove has a built-in DEFA air control limiter. So we could take that out and see what it does later, because the DEFA air control won't let it shut right down. Now, it also has a catalytic converter. The catalytic converter is in the top part of the firebox. So if I just take that baffle on, which looks like we have to take a side out, feels like we have to take a side out to take the baffle out. Yep. Definitely. So, which one comes out first? time. So that wasn't exactly difficult, was it? You're seeing this live the same time as I am for the first time. Now there is an upper baffle in here and the cat is above that. There's 2 bolts in there that are cap head screws that look like they need to come out to replace this top panel. So I'm going to go and get some Allen keys, I think. I'll be back in 2 shakes of latte. Alright, I'd rather do it when it's clean than do it when it's dirty. That's for sure. Not for the first time. I usually hold the phone and do it at the same time. Especially on a teeny weeny short driver like this. But anyway, it'd have been better having an Allen key. I can't feel it. See. So we're just taking the air wash out, which is this bit here. Alright, so we've got the manual, and I have to say the manual is very good. So it does show us all the information. Funny that, you'd expect it to, but the drawings and the size of the print actually makes it readable. It's eligible. I can actually see it without having to go and get my glasses. Some of these manuals are so small, I can't even see it. Never mind, you know, it's just horrible. They're just not made for ease of use. This is all extremely well laid out. You can see by my hands, these diagrams are very easy. Everything is very easy. No problem at all. So, you know, leveling, it tells you about the catalyst remover. It tells you that we need to take out these 6mm nuts. Tells you what size they are, where they are. There we are there. M6 nuts, and then this baffle comes down to get to where the catalyst is, which is what I'm going to do next. How to take out the grate and the ash pan. That it rotates through the doors when you've got all the liners out. It just seems dead easy. Everything is laid out beautifully. It's one of the nicest and easiest manuals in terms of ability to service that I've seen. How to fit all the fire bricks. Absolutely perfect if you've got a sweep coming, because some of these units are so damn complicated. How to open and shut your air vents, what the DEFRA removal part is. And I want to shut that on the actual log. We'll put that air control in the log. Air deflector. So for your air, so this here is your DEFRA infill. So this stops it shutting right down. So we can only shut it thus far. If you take this piece out, it will shut down further. But then it would not be DEFRA compliant. It's basically an adult child lock. So there you go. You want to remove this bit here, it will shut right down. You leave it in and it doesn't. But I mean, this latching mechanism for down here, there's your data plate, your serial numbers. Behind where the control is. It's beautiful. Do that again so you can see it. There's your serial number plate. Your serial number. Now serial numbers, you do need to register these. If you have bought it and you do not register the serial number, you have a 12-month warranty. If you've bought this and you bought it from your dealer, which you should be doing anyway, because they're only available through stove shops, then you can apply and register it for the 10-year warranty. So that's well worth doing. Oh yeah, the seals. I'm just looking at it and I've just spotted the seals. The seals apparently are not glued in, they're just pressed into the chamber. Now you can see what I can see, and I just caught a glimpse of these seals, and these seals are not glued in, they're just pushed in. So it says in the book. And I've got nothing to hand to pull that out with apart from my fingers. And I can't get hold of it. I get a key or something in my pocket. Yeah. My kid's house key. Something to coax it out with. There you go. So, no glue. So, if that seals in there and does its job and it's in the right place and it looks to be, that's a bonus. Because gluing seals in is a pain in the bum. Stoves, the door seals glue in. Now, it does have the screen printed back to the door. Let me just show you, because that is actually quite important. And I've had a couple of issues recently with customers and screen printed doors. And you know what? It's the customer's fault. Let's go on here then. It's the customer's fault, not the fire's fault, or not the fault of the glass. So let me just show you, because I think it's worth highlighting before I take this. So this is a screen printed door on the back. The glass, can you see this section here? It's behind there. It's black printed. Let me put something white or light coloured behind it. The manual will do. Do you see better now? Yeah, I think you should. I think you should see now. That black printing on the back of the glass. Glasses typically have to come from the manufacturer anyway, but that screen printing is a black coating that has been put on the back of the glass and then sealed in under like a special thin glass layer. Now, in the manual, it does actually tell you not to use certain glass cleaners. And I've had a customer with a different stove model, one from Charlton Generate recently, have a problem with his screen printed glass. And that screen printed glass has got all like horrible runny marks in it, where the coating on the back has actually come away. And that is entirely down to the specific glass cleaner that he's been using. It's a spray glass cleaner. Now this manual actually highlights that point. Right, I've found it. Glass should not be cleaned using cleaners high in alkaline or acidic content. Clean the glass panel when cool with a proprietary glass cleaner by applying the cleaner to the cloth. Do not apply directly to the glass, as this could cause runoff which could soak into rope seals around the edge of the glass. Highly abrasive substances should be avoided, as these scratch the glass and make subsequent cleaning more difficult. Wet logs on cleated glass, a badly aimed poker, or heavy slamming of glass doors can crack glass panels. The glass will not fracture from heat alone. Now, there's one particular glass cleaner that I have to say, although it's good, the glass cleaner tells you stuff that's different to... I need to do a video specifically on glass cleaners and these doors. all you need to know for now is that if you clean it with spray glass cleaner, put the spray on the cloth and then wipe it off the door. I don't care what it says in the bottle. Do not spray the spray glass cleaner onto this glass. There will be a follow-up video coming that's specifically on problems with screen printed glass, so you can watch out for that one soon. I'm going to go and see a customer who's had an issue, and the problem is his glass cleaner, not the fire. I am now going to go and get a little socket and take those two M6 nuts out. Right, this is a 10mm socket that I've got on my 6mm nut. Yeah, and I saw that dislodge. So I'm going to use two hands for now. I'll be back in just a minute. There is space in there, you can see, to get your hand in underneath that lip to unscrew this nut once it's been focus. Not easy to focus on because I can't click it far enough over at the same time. So anyway, you can get in there and do those nuts by hand pretty easy. So there's nut and a washer on each side, and once you slacken them off, it's an M10 socket on an M6 threaded stud. You can quite easy spin them off and then only get your fingers in there. Right, that's pretty easy because the studs are actually connected onto the baffle. But just watch, because when it starts to come out, it drops. Well, I didn't drop it, it was holding itself in on the threaded stud part, but it's like got a fair weight to it. So up in here at the top, that is your catalytic converter, if you can see. And it's meant to come out quite easy because it tells me so in the manual. And if anything else by this manual is got to be taken to as it is, it should be pretty straightforward because this manual is just beautifully done. Right, where are we? Where were we? Whoops. Catalyst removal. View from the underside. Rotate the catalyst retaining ring clockwise until the slots align with the retaining hooks. Alright, let's just have a quick look. Now, if I'm far enough away, you might be able to see what's going on up in there. Let's see if I can hold it and feel it. I can feel it. I can't really see it. So if you can see it. However, right, I've twiddled this round enough to let it come through. So there is my retaining ring. Oh, whoops. And there's the catalytic. There's a retaining ring, and there's the catalytic converter. Right. So let's have a look. So I'm going to keep it the right way up because this is the way it came out. So this is the way it goes back in. It looks like it could go in either way round, to be sure. Looks like corrugated cardboard. I'm sure it's not. But for all intents and purposes, it looks like a corrugated cardboard roll inside a disc. So it tells you all about servicing the catalytic converter and how it needs a dust off with a paintbrush every now and again, or a vacuum. And it comes out. I'd always worried that catalytic converters could be problematic. I'd heard a lot of bad stuff about them, but I've also heard a lot of good stuff about them in more recent times, and that if they're easy to remove, they're easy enough to service, that you can check them from time to time, and that you should be able to get in there and give it a dust out, wash out, etc. if required. And I have to say, this has been dead easy to remove, so hopefully it's just as easy to put it back in. Actually, I've just had a go at this, and it's pure dead simple, so it is. So I'm just going to put the camera back in so I can actually show you because it's a dawdle. It really is dawdle. So if I can put it at the right angle in the right place, hopefully it's not too dark and you can see. So what I did a second ago was just pop this in here, like so. And there's my retainer ring with 3 lockout pieces on it. And I can see better this way, you see. So if I do that, whoops. Where are we? There's one. Line it up with the lug. It's so easy when I'm looking at the screen as well. If you line one up with the lug, let's one up with the other 2. Once you've got that on, all you need to do is twist it. There we go. So, once you've rotated it, that's it. It's back up in there. You see? There we go. You can see it's going the opposite way. You just turn it so that it misses them lugs. You see that one? That's a bit better, easier to see. This one isn't. I need to turn that a bit more because I've just knocked it back. But it's piddle easy. Just follow the manual. RTFM, follow the manual. There you go. See, properly located well right round now. That's not going to drop out. Perfect. Dead simple. Tells you how to take the grate out, which when I look at it is dead easy too. Can't see why servicing isn't a dawdle. Sweep might need the manual. It's always handy to have your manual in hand for sweeps for servicing because there's so many different stoves and they all come to part in different ways. So always keep your manual handy and somewhere sensible because it can save a load of hassle later. But right, so I'm just putting the baffle back in at the minute. Just so you know, this air deflector that it says remove for clarity in the manual, you don't have to take that off to remove that upper baffle out the inside. But you know what? It probably makes it easier. It's 2 seconds though with those screws. I can't see why they would get over hot. They're threaded, there's no bolts on the other end. You could put a copper slip on them if you wanted to, because I would, just for belts and braces for next time. But they should be pedal to come out. They're not problematic at all. So I'm just going to put the panels and the baffle back in and then get on a burner. See what she does. So just the one air control on this. So I'm just going to go on and put my first kindling burner in there. Big high cylinders. They're unforgiving. You need to follow the instructions and stack them as they tell you to. Now, it does tell you in the manual 2 decent sized logs at the bottom, 2 smaller ones on top. Typically, you want 1 to 1.4 kilos for lighting, and you must not load past these air intakes at the back because you'll strangulate, suffocate the air coming in and cause major issues. You never want to be overloading. So I've got 1 round 4-inch log split into 2 pieces in the bottom, and then I've got 2 quarter splits, which are about 2 by 2 inch going on top. So we'll have about 1.5 kilos of fuel for a lighting bar. On top of that, we're going to put our kindling. So I have got 3 bits to start with, and another 3 bits. And I really like these. These are the quick fire firelighters. You get 100 in the tub. They're in a little cellulose packet, and you just light the packet. I only ever need one firelighter, 1 match, and away she goes. Every time. Generally. Now, no blowtorch tonight. So can we do a match with 1 hand? But it's possible. Less drama. There we go. These firelighters are good. They take quick. They don't smell. Now, big high door. The higher the door on a stove, the more chance you have of it smoking back. So what you do is you have to start your fire the right way, because we want it to increase in intensity to push all the cold out the chimney. If you don't put enough fuel in or stack it in the right order to get it going, what is going to happen is the cold air will push the hot air back down the chimney and into your room. We've got to get enough updraft and enough fuel to make sure that all that cold air is going to go out. So don't skimp on your first fire. Now I've got the door slightly ajar just to my kindling catches, and that's only going to take a few seconds. I can actually see it behind me, and I've not burnt this stove before. And as soon as that takes, then, which it looks like it's going now, we should just be able to shut the door and get on with it. It tells you not to keep the door open too long on this. And certainly, modern stoves aren't designed to burn with the door open at all, so you shouldn't be reloading until you're down to hot red embers. And to start with, we're going to leave that pretty much fully open until the air develops. Now, I actually get the air shut because I wasn't watching what I'm doing. The air's open now. The air's open when it's over to the left, and it's shut when it's over to the right on this model. So my kindling's starting to catch, so I'm going to do what it tells me to and shut the door. It sounds really clunky. It's not really clunky, it's just you can hear everything in here. So what we're just going to do now is sit and watch. Now there you go. So what I can see to start with is condensation. Do you see that? That's not a problem. It's just normally what I would do is leave that door open a bit longer, because by having the door open a bit longer, it dries off the condensation before it starts and smoke sticks to the glass. So it'll be interesting to see. We've shut the door straight away. Do you know what? Because I only just lit this seconds ago. Literally seconds ago. And I can feel that heat deflecting through the glass already. Not a lot, but I can feel it already. It's barely catching the kindling and I can feel it. Look. But yeah, I can feel that through the radiant through the glass already. In like about 10 seconds. And you can actually see that condensate layer is drying off already. So that's, yeah, you can see it evaporating off. It's not the fuel. There, to see it better on this side, I've got it on the camera. Let's just watch that panel for a minute. Now, you see as that fire is burning, yes, it's definitely, if I keep my finger there on the glass, that's the bottom of that arc. Yeah, it's shrinking back at speed as the air's warming up. Do you see? It's getting further and further away from where my finger is. You can see it, physically see it moving. It's totally gone on the other side now. But it's cold in here in this room at the minute. I'll actually go and look at what the room temperature is, but I would guess it's about 6 degrees in here. It's very late. Yeah, totally gone on that side. And a tiny bit, you see the reflection in the manual. Let me put that away. Put the manual down there. You see? You can see the black screen print quite nicely in the glass now, as that's, this side is totally gone. Totally gone. On this side, there's just a tiny bit left. And yeah, I can feel it starting to radiate through. And the wood's starting to take quite nicely. Yeah, so it's late. What time is it now? 20 past midnight. But I've got company. He's good for laughs, David. He keeps me out of mischief. So that was a YouTuber's idea. They say that I don't look in the right place. So yeah, when I've got the camera. So it's actually easier usually to talk to David when I'm doing the video. After all, he's harmless unless he scares Violetta when she puts the lights on and he's hiding around the corner. Because he does get up to some tricks, does David. He's got a bit of attitude, that's him. Well, I've just gone and made a cup of tea. And in the time it's taken me to faff about, boil the kettle, make a cup of tea, I've come back to a nice burning fire. It's looking lovely. It's burning nice. It's giving good heat through already. It's clean as a whistle. There's not a speck on that glass that I can see. There's no mark on it. It's only just starting to heat up, really. That's just the kindling that's burning down on the top, and the bottom logs have not long caught. So it'll be interesting to see how long it takes to heat up. It's blinking cold in here. It really is. But then 12:30 at night. And I'll warm up, thaw out soon. I'll be hot inside and hot outside with any luck. Outside is stone cold at the minute. You'd expect it to be. Glass is getting nice and warm. I don't know if no, it's not a scratch. It's dirt on the inside. So I haven't scratched that already, surely. Absolutely not. It's just a grubby bit. The glass is getting hot. But that's alright. There's nothing wrong there at all. The flames are licking well up and round that baffle. Pretty. Pulling nicely, baffle's starting to clean. No problem at all in there. It's stunning. I mean, the fuel's burning really nice as well. It's got a good colour on it. I don't want to try and turn this down yet. I want all that baffle on the inside to just have a proper chance to heat up before I even attempt to do that. But the air intake at the back is working well. See the glow. I'll look like a suntan in no time. But it's a good height of unit. Do you want to see how big it is when we stood next to it? Because I'm 5'7". And it's a fair size. It is top outlet only. So you'll find that in a lot of houses, this is going to be far better for going through a ceiling than going through a wall, because you're meant to have this is single wall pipe, and this is just for test pieces in here. It goes into twin wall. This is a 6-inch twin wall system further up, but it's coming off in a 5. Anyway, I'm digressing. If you were going through in a bungalow, you're meant to have a 600mm rise before you have a bend. Now, that's going to be about 600mm to there. That's about head height. Then you've got to have a bend, then you're still going up. The height that you're getting to means you're getting awful close by the time you make that haul for going through a wall before you hit a ceiling height. So if you've only got a 2.2 rather than a 2.4 floor to ceiling on the inside, you're going to find that a push probably for getting through a wall. So it really is going to be far better for going through a ceiling, I would think, than trying to penetrate an exterior wall. But I must say, I like it. I've not got any further yet. I haven't given it a full burn, but I've liked this from the minute I set eyes on it and the minute I opened the door. And it's not letting me down. Not at all. Not so far. In fact, I would not get anything yet. I can see that I can fault it on. From what it says in the manual, it said that you don't get much smell in the way of smoke. I mean, it's not even hot, but I'm presuming that they've used a non-fume paint, so they get very little fume off it. I'm guessing, from reading the manual, but we'll yet to find that out. But those sides are relatively warm. Only here. The rest of it is stone cold. So just there, on those top corners, that's getting like a hot radiator. The rest of it is stone cold. I do mean stone cold. That flue will be hot. I'm not touching that. Front bit here is hot, but would you expect it's directly above the air washing where the flames are going up round the chimney. So I'm expecting the body still to get hot, but not too hot that it can't go close to combustibles. And it can go on a 12mm hearth. That's not an issue. It's just perfect. It's just spot on. I mean, it's just spot on. There it goes, you can see the difference now. But those flames are just dancing. They're just easy. But it's only had 40 minutes in. It's cold outside. It's 6 degrees. It was 6 degrees in here when I lit this. It's not 6 degrees now, but I'm not roasting either. But then I'm also sat on a cold concrete floor, and we've got high ceilings and great big wide double open doorways, and there's 3 bays this size, and each bay is about 15 foot by 30 foot. So I've got 45 foot by 30 foot space with high ceilings and 0 insulation. And it was cold in here. So it's never going to heat all that on, so I don't expect it to. But that's it, shut down, the diff is stopping, and that's low enough because it's not blaring away. It's just a nice gentle rolling flame. It's taken over nicely and it's nice and bright and clean. But you can see it's dull, so you wouldn't want it any lower or you'll black it up, I think. We'll have a play with it with the diff stop tomorrow probably. Because I've got somebody coming to see this tomorrow morning and I really wanted to get it done and in because they fancy having this stove. And I don't like putting stoves into people's houses until I'm confident that I would buy it and I would put my money on it. Because if it's not good enough for me, it's not good enough for my shop customers. I need to know how they come to bits, how they go together, if it's going to be problematic, if it's going to perform, if it's going to be awkward and difficult. And to have 3 flues on one chimney system, you'd never ever do it. You wouldn't be allowed to do it. It's 1 flue per stove. But this stove's got to fight. It's got to fight because it's trying to pull from another 2 units as well. And if it can perform on here, it's going to perform in a bungalow. It's going to perform in a shorter type building. It's beautifully clean and it's doing just fine. Now, the other thing that they say is you never open a stove without opening the air vent first. And you never open a stove until it's down to chunky red ember with almost no flame left before you open the door. And I'm here to test them. I'm here to make sure that they do better than the minimum, yeah? Because I don't want something that's going to have problems. You don't want something that's going to have problems. And if I know how to run it, then I can back my customers to the hilt. And if something's not the way I expect it to be, at least I can work out what's wrong with it. So I need to play with them a few times first and put them to the limit. Anyway, I'm going to open this door and I'm going to show you me open the door and what happens. So all the blurb from all the manufacturers will tell you in the book, you do not open until you're down to chunky red ember. And that is way more than chunky red ember because those logs at the bottom are only kind of half burnt. But it's clean and clear, and I've opened the air up, and I'm going to open the door, which is currently cool. But the whole door's, that's cold. That's getting warm, but that's all right. The bottom of the door is cold. I expect it might get hot, but I can't tell you that yet. You are always meant to pressurise release it. So you open the door and you give it 5 or 10 seconds before you fully open it. Now, there's no smoke spillage. There's no smoke spillage at all out of there. Nothing. Nada. Nothing at all. I've not got an issue with that. That's not a smoker. That's a good unit. Yeah, that unit, it's got a big tall cylinder like that, and you can open the door and a half fire box of wood and not have smoke back and just a few fluttery bits of ash as that's burning off. That's not a problem stove. I'm perfectly happy with it. I don't have an issue with it at all. Nothing. Nada. A few more burns, put it to its test and see what it's doing. But most stoves, I'd have been smelling the paint going off by now. There's hottish bits on it, but it's been going an hour. My hand's still on it. I can hold a hot cup of tea. I can hold a very hot cup of tea, and I'm known for having a bit of asbestos hands, but until you're up to here, it's barely starting to get warm. Ow, that bit's hot. You can tell I'm not putting this on, it is what it is. So that bit from there up's hot, but you know, with my hand a centimetre or two off of that, you can't feel it on your hand. I'm actually touching it. You don't stack logs up the side of stoves. You don't have things in contact. Let me just show you. Right, that bit on the other side where I sort of semi-burnt myself, I didn't burn myself enough to do any damage. Yeah, I'm grubby up and sat on the floor. What do you expect? I've been working all day. So, you know, a centimetre or so off, yeah, I can feel it. It's radiating off, but it's not, and it's certainly not going to do any damage. Now down here, this bit to here is cold. I mean, it's barely lukewarm. It's getting warmer. It's getting warmer. It's getting to be like a kind of hottish radiator. You're not going to want to put your hand on it. Yeah. When you start to get towards level with the top of where the lining panels are, there's obviously less protection because that's where your fire and your gases is going up round the chimney, round the baffle. Why do I expect any different? Yeah, this is it's getting hot up here. I wouldn't want to sit and put my hand on it, but certainly I can be a centimetre or so away and it's not hot. Not at all. You're not meant to be able to touch all the body casing. Behind I can. Hot a little bit at the top, but then again, how far am I off that? I would say I'm about 50 mil-ish, 50, 60 mil off that wall. Right, you have a tape measure. We have a tape measure and we can't get in to measure the stove because it goes the wrong direction and I'm left-handed and I don't know where to put my lefty-righty tape measure. I would say if I could actually hold that at the right point, how am I going to do this then? There you are. It's about 55, 56 millimeters off that wall. So that's its minimum distance to combustibles. Now, there's no heat in that wall anywhere, even where it's hot at the top. In fact, this bit down here, which is only 8-10 inches down from the top, that wall's stone cold. I mean, go down another foot, that wall's freezing. But, you know, my arm is actually touching the back of that stove. That's not hot. The stove itself, the body's starting to get hottish at the top. But not that the wall's going to do any harm. Not at all. And it's pretty. And it doesn't smoke. And if you want a cylinder, it's decent money. The part is good money for what it is. Now, the one testing part, how much is a replacement glass? Now, I'm going to go and look it up and see if we can find out. And if not, I'm going to call them and put it in this video before I finalise it. So, well, we go and see. Okay, so here we are. Hunter Stove's website. Can't do this very easily. Right, okay. So, where are we? Here we go. Glass panel for a radio. Oh, that's not bad at all. £441. Well, let's just check on this. Add to basket. As I thought, but even so, that's still not bad. £529. Now, there are some stoves out there, when it comes to cylinders, that can be heading close to or over £1,000 for a glass. The chart and generate pure vision cylinder, for example, that's £950 RRP on a glass on that. It's a lot of money. That's almost a second mortgage, or in some places a new stove. And I think theirs is about 3.5 or so thousand for a pure vision. And that's a nice stove, and it's a cylinder. But the glass is blinking expensive. To be honest, on a completely curved glass like that, when it's a full cylinder, it's not even just a gentle curve on it. I think that £529.20, including VAT for a bit of glass, is not bad. Now, we don't want you to change, you have to change it. We certainly don't want you to break it. Thankfully, on my watch, very few people break glasses because I teach my customers how to burn their fires, but when they first get them, before they are left with it. So they all know how to use it and what to do, what not to do. And glass breakages are very, very rare for us. Most glass breakages are down to user error for them slamming doors or from them shutting them on logs. That's just user error, nothing more. Burning too much fuel and user error, and that shouldn't happen. But at £529.20 for a glass, so far I've not found anything that puts me off that unit. I really haven't. I'm going to take another look at it before I go home for the night because, well, I'm not done yet, and got things to do before I come back into shop tomorrow morning. It's still burning, and it's still burning nice, and it's still in full air because I want to just get it going, burn off that first kindling log, try and bake on any paint. It doesn't even smell. I've not even smelled anything off of it. Now, time is now 1:10. So that's been going a full hour on the same load, not putting any more in, on about 1.4, I would say, kilos of wood. That was a 4-inch diameter split log, split into two, and two little bits, a quarter split. So I would say that's going to be about 1.4 load with the kindling. That's probably got another 20 minutes on it on full air. I even tried to set it down, but, you know, it's blooming cold out there and it's blooming cold in here, and it's not tearing away. So actually, I don't need to shut it down anymore. There is not a mark on that glass. I've already opened the door for you, and it performed just fine. I'm going to open the door for you again so we can look at the back of the glass and the inside. And then I'm going home because I think this has done its job for me tonight. Now, I've opened the door and I'm leaving it for about 5 seconds or so before I fully open it, which is what you should always do. And there you go, there's a couple of bits of fluffy white ash because of what I'm burning and because I'm opening the door too soon, but there's nothing. And I'm going to show you the inside of that glass. It's as clean as a bell. There's not a mark on it. For me, it's a pass, it's a win. It's a lovely unit. I love the door handle on it. It's low. So for anybody older getting on, it's quite a positive and firm door handle, and it's low. You've got to bend down. You'll probably find if you're wanting to future-proof things for 10 or 15 years down the line, then a pull handle further up if you're getting on a bit is a wise move, because it's a tall stove and it's low down for the handle. But if the years are not a problem, or your mobility isn't a problem, it's stunning. You know, everything's tucked out the way, it's modern, it's beautiful, and it's burning just sweet as a nut. Perfect. Spot on. I've got nothing to tell you that I don't like at the minute. Not even the glass cost. Hunters, you've surprised me. But this is a big win for you guys. This is better than anything you've ever done. It really truly is. It's smashing. I really like it. Well done. Right, the morning after the night before, because I left here at 3 a.m. and it's now 9. And this has gone out and it's gone cold. And before I relight it, because I've got somebody coming in this morning, it is absolutely spotless. So I've got all the timings in my camera. I will put them up and you can see them, but that is absolutely immaculate. I've just got surprised with this because I've gone to clean it out, and when I left this last night, I left this with about 1.2 kilos last night at 3 a.m. of birch that I just put in the door. And I'm going to show you, there's still red ember in this. I'm just going to clean it out to relight it just because. And there's some charcoal in it. I'm thinking, I would quite like that to have burnt down a bit more, but it's not finished burnt. It's shot down, but the DEFRA screw in, which is at 40%, and you can see there's still red ember in there. It's still actually hot. And that was only on its singular load point, and that's after like 5 hours, which is pretty good, to be honest.